Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the explosive developments coming to Port Charles this December, where shocking betrayals, romantic turmoil, and dangerous power plays are about to shake up everyone's lives in ways nobody could have anticipated. Carly's calculated schemes and Sonny's power struggle. The drama intensifies as Carly prepares to execute her next calculated maneuver in what promises to be one of her most audacious plots yet. Known for her strategic mind and unwavering determination, Carly is gearing up for a move that will undoubtedly send ripples throughout Port Charles. Her scheming nature remains as sharp as ever, and whatever she has planned will likely catch several key players completely off guard. Meanwhile, her daughter Jocelyn Jax finds herself consumed by righteous anger, ready to unleash her fury over recent events that have left her feeling betrayed and manipulated. Jocelyn's outrage isn't something she'll keep bottled up. Expect her to make her feelings known loud and clear to anyone within earshot. On the other side of town, mob kingpin Sonny Corinthos faces mounting pressure from a formidable adversary who's been testing his patience and threatening his territory. Sonny isn't one to back down from a challenge, and he's already plotting his counter-strike against this major foe. The tension between these powerful forces continues to escalate, setting the stage for what could become an all-out war in Port Charles. Sonny's retaliation will need to be both swift and strategic, as his enemy won't be easily defeated. Quartermaine Thanksgiving Chaos and Hospital Homecoming. The Quartermaine family's annual Thanksgiving celebration takes an unexpectedly chaotic turn despite Detective Harrison Chase's earnest attempts to orchestrate a picture-perfect traditional holiday feast for his extended family. Chase had envisioned a Norman Rockwell-style gathering complete with all the trimmings, but his carefully laid plans are about to go spectacularly sideways. The source of the disaster? A turkey theft courtesy of Outback, the mischievous canine who apparently has his own ideas about where that perfectly roasted bird should end up. The poultry pilfering will leave the Quartermaines without their centerpiece dish, prompting Brooke Lynn Quartermaine to take charge of the situation in the most practical way possible, by ordering pizza delivery instead. While the menu may have changed dramatically from Chase's original vision, the family still has plenty to celebrate. The best news of all comes in the form of Ned Quartermaine's hospital discharge, allowing him to finally return home to his loved ones after what has surely been a difficult medical ordeal. His presence at the unconventional Thanksgiving table will remind everyone that having family together is what truly matters, regardless of whether they're eating turkey or pepperoni pizza. The Quartermaines have weathered countless storms together, and this turkey debacle will become just another cherished family memory in their long, colorful history. Willow's wedding day dilemma. As the wedding date rapidly approaches, Willow Tate finds herself trapped in an emotional vortex of uncertainty about whether she should actually go through with marrying Drew Cain. The internal conflict is written all over her face, and her anxiety hasn't escaped the notice of her perceptive mother, Nina Reeves. Despite their complicated history, Nina recognizes her daughter's distress and decides to step in with a compassionate gesture that demonstrates her genuine concern for Willow's happiness. Nina will carefully approach Willow and provide her with a crucial lifeline, a genuine opportunity to call off the wedding if that's what her heart is telling her to do. Drew remains hopeful and eager to make Willow his wife, envisioning a future together built on their connection and shared experiences. However, he understands that this monumental decision ultimately rests in Willow's hands alone. The question looming over Port Charles is whether Willow will stand at the altar and pledge her life to Drew, or whether she'll make the dramatic choice to become a runaway bride, leaving her groom and guests stunned on what was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives. The emotional stakes couldn't be higher, and Willow's choice will have lasting repercussions for multiple relationships in town, teen troubles, and academic mysteries. While Michael Corinthos processes his reaction to an unexpected and intriguing proposal that could shift his priorities, young Emma Scorpio Drake demonstrates remarkable determination as she pursues a fascinating mystery. Emma's detective instincts appear to be kicking into high gear, and she's not content to let things remain unexplained. Her investigation will likely involve recruiting Joe to assist her in tracking down the concealed laboratory belonging to the enigmatic Professor Henry Hank Dalton. This secret facility holds answers that Emma desperately wants to uncover, and her tenacity suggests she won't give up easily. The teenage population of Port Charles is about to face some serious consequences for their recent misadventures. Danny Morgan, Rocco Falconeri, and Charlotte Casadini all participated in an ill-advised break-in on the university campus, and now they're about to receive a heavy dose of tough love from the adults in their lives. These impressionable young people will be taught crucial lessons about respecting the law and understanding that actions have consequences. The parents and authority figures involved will make certain these teens understand the gravity of their choices and the importance of making better decisions in the future. Laura's haunting reunion and troubling visions. Across Port Charles, Laura Collins is about to experience a surprise that will fill her heart with joy in the most wonderful way imaginable. This blissful reunion suggests that someone very special is returning to her life, and all signs point toward the possibility of Kevin Collins making his way back to town. If the scheduling gods smile favorably and Beyond the Gates can spare actor John Lindstrom for a bit, viewers may soon witness the touching reunion between Laura and her beloved husband. Their connection has always been one of the show's most enduring love stories, and seeing them together again will undoubtedly bring warmth to many hearts. Laura will also find herself gaining a new confidant during this tumultuous time, someone she can trust with the complicated details of recent events. It remains to be seen whether she'll bring Kevin up to speed on the entire Dalton disaster and reveal the extent of Sonny's involvement in the messy situation. As time passes, Laura becomes increasingly fixated on the disturbing corpse situation, unable to shake the feeling that Professor Dalton is somehow haunting her from beyond the grave. Whether these haunting sensations manifest through intrusive memories of traumatic events or through actual ghostly visions of a ghastly-looking Dalton apparition, Laura will find herself struggling deeply with the psychological aftermath of everything that's transpired. Britt's dark night and Jason's rescue. Speaking of struggles, Britt Westburn attempts to drown her considerable sorrows by turning to alcohol, trying desperately to ignore the pain and problems that have been weighing heavily on her mind and heart. Her decision to get drunk will set the stage for an important encounter that could shift the trajectory of her evening, and possibly much more. Jason Morgan, ever the White Knight despite his complicated past, will cross paths with Britt at precisely the right moment. Recognizing that she's having a terrible night and needs someone to lean on, Jason will step in to rescue her from whatever darkness she's facing. The compassion Jason shows during this vulnerable moment will mean everything to Britt, and she'll gratefully accept his comfort and support. Sidwell's power play and Brennan's ruthless decision. The dangerous Jen Sidwell continues to flex his considerable power throughout Port Charles, throwing his weight around in ways specifically designed to infuriate and provoke Sonny Corinthos. Sidwell's aggressive tactics aim to gain a strategic advantage over his enemy, positioning himself as the dominant force in their ongoing conflict. However, Sidwell may be underestimating Sonny's capacity for retaliation. Despite the mounting pressure, Sonny is already formulating plans to strike back with devastating effectiveness. The mob boss knows that patience combined with careful planning will serve him better than rash action. Jocelyn's rage over Vaughn's mysterious disappearance reaches a boiling point as she demands answers about where he went and why. The truth behind Vaughn's vanishing act lies with Jack Brennan, who feels absolutely no remorse for removing Vaughn from the equation. From Brennan's perspective, Vaughn had become a problematic distraction for Jocelyn, and more importantly, he proved incapable of following direct orders. In Brennan's world, such failures cannot be tolerated, regardless of the personal consequences for others. His cold, calculating approach to problem-solving reveals just how ruthless he can be when his plans are threatened. Windermere disturbances and prison plotting. While Lucas Jones grapples with some deeply disturbing developments unfolding at the ominous Windermere Castle. Carly makes a clandestine connection with Valentin Casadini at his new stateside prison facility. The unlikely alliance between Carly and Valentin remains very much alive, as neither of them has finished their elaborate scheming against their mutual enemy, Jack Brennan. More covert meetings are definitely on the horizon for this conspiratorial duo, which means they're walking a dangerous tightrope. Each additional meeting increases their chances of being discovered, and if Brennan catches wind of their collaboration, the consequences could be severe. Carly and Valentin must exercise extreme caution to avoid detection while continuing to plot Brennan's downfall. Strategic retaliation and holiday spirit. During the crucial week of December 15th to 19th, Sonny may finally discover the perfect opportunity to retaliate against Sidwell. But his approach will need to be exceptionally smart and carefully orchestrated. A misstep at this stage could prove catastrophic, so Sonny can't afford to let emotion override strategic thinking. Jason and Sonny will likely spend considerable time strategizing together, analyzing every possible angle as they work to determine the most effective vengeful moves against their adversaries. Their combined experience and tactical knowledge make them a formidable team when properly coordinated. As the Christmas season draws nearer, Port Charles residents may find moments to embrace some genuine holiday festivities amid all the chaos and conflict. General Hospital traditionally delivers heartwarming Christmas content that balances out the dramatic storylines, so viewers can look forward to discovering which characters will embrace the festive spirit most enthusiastically this year. The decorations, music, and celebration provide welcome relief from the constant tension, unexpected revelations, and family hopes. Isaiah Gannon could receive the most unexpected gift imaginable if he learns about Portia Robinson's pregnancy and realizes that he might be the father. This revelation would completely transform his life and force him to confront the possibility of impending fatherhood. Meanwhile, Brooklyn harbors hopes that Joe and Dante Falconeri can successfully reconcile their differences in time for the holiday season. Family harmony during Christmas is important to her, and she'll likely do whatever she can to facilitate peace between them. Perhaps Chase and Brooklyn will also find time to revisit their previous conversations about adoption now that Brooklyn's relationship with Joe has stabilized and improved. The couple had explored this possibility before, but timing and circumstances hadn't aligned properly. Could a baby finally be in Brooklyn and Chase's future, allowing them to build the family they've been dreaming about? Or will new obstacles and complications emerge to derail their parenting plans once again? Next, we will learn about the issues surrounding Michael Corinthos and Jacinda Bracken's crumbling relationship as explosive secrets threaten to destroy everything they've built together. The inevitable explosion. Michael Corinthos is heading toward a devastating confrontation with Jacinda Bracken that will change everything between them. The upcoming blow-up centers on a critical lie Jacinda has been maintaining about the fateful night when Drew Kane was shot. This deception isn't just a small omission, it's a fabrication that could potentially send Michael to prison while simultaneously shattering the romantic connection that has blossomed between them. The romantic bubble that Jacinda has been floating in is about to burst spectacularly, leaving behind only broken trust and shattered dreams. When fake love becomes real, what started as a carefully orchestrated arrangement has evolved into something neither Michael nor Jacinda anticipated. Jacinda initially agreed to participate in a pretend romance with Michael, playing the role of his girlfriend as part of a strategic plan. However, the boundaries between performance and reality have become increasingly blurred as genuine feelings have developed. Michael has transcended the superficial aspects of their arrangement, taking the time to truly understand Jacinda as a complex individual rather than simply viewing her as an escort fulfilling a contract. Their conversations have deepened, their moments together have become more authentic, and what was supposed to remain purely transactional has transformed into something emotionally significant. Michael's irresistible qualities. Jacinda's growing attachment to Michael isn't difficult to understand when considering the impressive combination of qualities he brings to the table. Michael possesses the kind of attributes that would make any woman take notice. He's undeniably handsome with striking features that turn heads wherever he goes. Beyond his physical appearance, Michael comes from substantial wealth, providing financial security and access to a lifestyle most people only dream about. More importantly, he demonstrates genuine kindness in his interactions, treats Jacinda with unwavering respect, and shows protective instincts that make her feel valued and safe. This combination of external advantages and internal character traits makes Michael essentially the total package, a rare find in Port Charles or anywhere else. For Jacinda, who has likely encountered many men who fell short in various ways, Michael represents everything she could possibly desire in a potential partner. The dangerous deception. Beneath the surface of this budding romance lies a dangerous secret that threatens to destroy everything. Jacinda has been deceiving Michael about something absolutely massive: her true whereabouts and activities on the night Drew Cain was shot. She has looked Michael directly in the eyes multiple times and assured him with complete conviction that after they separated that evening, she returned to her hotel room and remained there completely alone for the rest of the night. Michael has taken great comfort in this story because he believes their mutual alibi is ironclad and impossible for anyone to challenge or disprove. This false sense of security has allowed Michael to feel protected from suspicion in Drew's shooting, never imagining that the woman he's growing to care for would endanger him with such a fundamental lie. Chase holds the key. Detective Harrison Chase possesses knowledge that could completely unravel Jacinda's carefully constructed story. Chase has discovered that Jacinda's claim of spending the night alone in her hotel room is categorically false. She was actually with Ezra Boyle that entire evening. This revelation carries enormous implications for multiple people involved in the Drew Cain shooting investigation. However, Chase finds himself in a difficult position because simply knowing the truth isn't sufficient to act upon it in a court of law. He requires solid, verifiable evidence that can withstand legal scrutiny if he intends to use this information to benefit Willow Tate during her upcoming trial. Spoilers indicate that Chase's determination and investigative skills may eventually lead him to uncover the concrete proof he needs, though the timeline remains uncertain. The truth will surface. Michael's discovery of Jacinda's betrayal appears inevitable, though the exact circumstances remain to be seen. One scenario involves Chase accidentally revealing something to Michael during a casual conversation that triggers his suspicions about Jacinda's honesty regarding that critical night. Even a small slip of the tongue could plant seeds of doubt in Michael's mind, leading him to question the story he's been told repeatedly. Alternatively, Michael might remain completely unaware until the truth explodes into public view during Willow's trial proceedings. Imagine the humiliation and shock Michael would experience if the revelation about Jacinda spending the night with Ezra Boyle comes out in open court, with lawyers, judges, and spectators all witnessing the destruction of his alibi. Regardless of which path the storyline takes, the outcome remains the same. Michael will eventually learn about Jacinda's deception, and the consequences will be severe: shattered trust and lost possibilities. The exposure of Jacinda's lie will have devastating consequences for the relationship she's desperately hoping to preserve. All the trust that Michael and Jacinda have painstakingly built together through their intimate conversations, shared experiences, and vulnerable moments will be obliterated in an instant. Trust forms the foundation of any meaningful relationship, and once that foundation crumbles, rebuilding becomes extraordinarily difficult, if not impossible. For Jacinda, who has allowed herself to genuinely fall for Michael and envision a future where their fake arrangement transforms into an authentic romantic relationship, this represents the destruction of her hopes and dreams. The real romance she's been desperately wishing for will likely remain forever out of reach, killed by her own dishonesty before it ever had a chance to fully blossom. Michael's fury unleashed. When the truth finally emerges, Michael won't respond with quiet disappointment. He'll erupt with justified anger. Michael will inevitably lash out at Jacinda with intense fury for deceiving him about something so consequential to his freedom and future. His rage will be particularly intense if the collapse of his alibi propels him to the top of the suspect list in Drew's shooting. Drew Cain has been quietly hoping that if Willow manages to secure her exoneration, Michael will ultimately be identified as the shooter and face prosecution for the crime. This vindictive scenario could become Michael's reality once his supposedly solid alibi with Jacinda falls apart completely. Facing the terrifying prospect of prison time for a crime, combined with the betrayal by someone he was developing genuine feelings for, will create a perfect storm of emotions that Michael will unleash directly at Jacinda. The confrontation promises to be explosive, filled with accusations, recriminations, and the bitter acknowledgement that what they had together has been irrevocably destroyed by lies. Jacinda's reckoning approaches. The day of reckoning is approaching rapidly for Jacinda Bracken, and she'll soon find herself in the uncomfortable position of having to explain her actions. General Hospital spoilers confirm that Jacinda will face intense scrutiny and demanding questions about why she lied, what really happened that night with Ezra Boyle, and whether she understood the potential consequences her deception could have for Michael. She'll need to find the words to justify her choices, though no explanation may be sufficient to repair the damage she's caused. Whether Jacinda can offer any reasoning that Michael might eventually understand or forgive remains highly questionable given the magnitude of her betrayal and the serious legal jeopardy she's placed him in through her dishonesty.